I know this is probably not a great time of day on a Saturday, but that's okay. All right, so I'm going to just get started and tell you guys what it is that has been on my mind. I just need to turn my music down just a second. Okay. So it's that time in the season for our business where it gets really busy. You know, every business has ebbs and flows and has times in the year, you know, like most retail is super busy, you know, like Thanksgiving through Christmas or whatever. And I'm sure they have other busy times too, but, and then they have slower times, just like everyone. So that's how our business is too. And so we are entering, any health and wellness business is going to be just kind of booming right after the new year because people are going to be interested in changing your, you know, just taking care of some weight and whatever, New Year's resolutions and all that. So anyway, so my husband and I were talking this morning about just kind of my game plan for the next few months and just trying, you know, when you work from home, the beautiful thing about working from home is that you get to decide exactly what you want to do, how much time you want to put into it, how much time you don't want to put into it. But the hard thing from working from home is that if you're not disciplined and not don't have a plan in place and don't have very specific things laid out, then days and days can go by and nothing happens. And so, oh man, like being blown out is just kind of driving me crazy. Sorry. So anyways, that's something that we have spent every few months. I just talk through with him, like, how am I going to handle the next few months? Well, one of the things that I realized is that I know what to do to take advantage of this busy season. This will be my third busy season that I'm heading into, and I know what a difference it makes when I put some effort behind it. And like, instead of just working throughout the day on my phone, but maybe actually spending 3 or 4 hours a day at my desk and like actually being intentional, that can be absolutely life-changing. However, I can't figure out what it's focusing on, like what the light is. Oh, apparently when my hand is right here, then it's a little bit better. Anyways, sorry. What my story is that I promoted really, really fast in this business. And then I worked really hard for about 2.5 months, which really, what is 2.5 months in the scheme of life? But it was exhausting and worth it, but it was exhausting. And I signed a lot of people who wanted to join my team, but who apparently didn't want to be here. And so several months later, a lot of those people quit. And that was a little defeating. It's very normal in network marketing. You're going to always have people join and quit. I mean, that's just how it is. Not everybody who's going to join is going to want to make this a priority and make it a part of their life enough to actually have like life-changing things happen. And I know that. It's not like that was a surprise. And yet when I had a lot of people quit in a short period of time, that felt a little defeating. And that was several years ago, and I've rebuilt my team. I have an amazing team now. It's super, super solid. I mean, I have so many girls who are just like, get this, and they're going after this. And I have some amazing leaders, and we have a great community. Like, we love each other, and we laugh a lot, and we support each other, and we're there for each other. And so I love the team that I have rebuilt. And I'm very connected to them. Like, my heart is connected to them, and I can't imagine my life without them. And I didn't feel like that in the beginning. You know, the other team, that wasn't how I felt because I didn't have enough time to really get to know people or whatever. But anyways, all that to say is that as we were talking through what my game plan was going to be for the next few months, I could feel some reservation in like really, really going after what I know can happen in the next few months and the promotions that I'm wanting to obtain and that kind of thing. And Bill was just, you know, he was kind of like, what exactly is going on here? You know, he was kind of trying to pinpoint why I was having some reservations and just like committing to what I needed to do what I knew I needed to do. And I suddenly started crying, and I was like, what if I go all in again for a month or two like I did 2 years ago? And what if the same thing happens? Like, what if I, you know, kind of explode and then my team quits again? And I realized that is what is preventing me from doing what I know I need to do to make this thing huge. And he said, okay, he's like, I just need to talk to you for a second. He's like, and I hope you hear this with love. You know, he's just very kind, but he goes, I used to work 80 to 100 hours a week, which I know, clearly I'm married to him. He was gone 80 to 100 hours a week. And he goes, and I did it day in and day out, week in and week out, month after month, year after year, with no end in sight. He's like, there was never a chance to have freedom the way that we have a chance to have freedom here. He's like, there was never a chance to have my income change. Like he's a truck driver and he would be gone all the time. And there was months where he didn't even bring in enough to cover our bills. Like if it wasn't for either maybe photography jobs that I had at the time, or God just provided like miraculously through other things, there was a lot of months where there was not enough money, and it didn't matter that he worked 100 hours a week. And he's like, and yet that is what I did. And he goes, you might work. He's like, you don't even work 40 hours a week, Melissa. He's like, so even if you have a 2-month period where you do work 40 hours a week, he's like, which I don't even think that happens. He's like, you know that it will produce life-changing income and life-changing opportunities for me and for other people. And it was just like this head smack. And I was like, oh my gosh. First of all, I'm letting a fear that is ridiculous just determine how I'm going to move forward with my life. And the fear isn't even founded. I mean, like, cause he's right. Like, I will never work 80. He's like, if I could have worked 80 to 100 hours a week and know that I had the opportunity to change our family's life the way that your company can change our family's life. He's like, I did it knowing it wasn't even bringing in enough. And so he wasn't, of course he wasn't being disrespectful to me. He was just helping me see how ridiculous I was being. That my concern is that I'm going to work really hard for a month or two. And what's going to come out of that is that promotions are going to happen. People's lives are going to be changed. I'm going to sign up distributors who need this. And the people on my team who are already here, the things that they've been working for are going to happen. And I'm going to be able to help customers, get healthy and feel better about their skin and all these kind of things. And so what I want you to do, I think we all let fear affect us. I didn't realize that I was letting fear affect me. I didn't realize I was just kind of feeling a little paralyzed about, how to move forward and what to commit my time to or whatever, what kind of time to commit to this. And what I realized is that when I realized what my fear was, then I was able to recognize the lie in the fear. And so I just really want to encourage you that this is for every area of your life. I'm talking specifically about our business, but this is about losing weight. This is about having deep relationships. This is about either fixing your marriage or getting married or even dating or having children or having girlfriends and having letting yourself have best friends. It doesn't really matter. Getting out of debt, those kind of things. Fear, the enemy uses fear to get in our way, and he uses it to stop us from moving forward. And so if you find that specifically in this business that you're kind of at a standstill, or you know what you need to do to push forward, but you're not doing it, I can guarantee you that there is fear clogging up that road, that path that you need to take to move forward. Fear absolutely paralyzes. It's so true. And the longer we let fear hold on, the more paralyzed we get. And then it turns into excuses. I mean, that's just all there is to it. I mean, you guys, I have 6 children, and that means I'm going every direction all the time. Just alone today, 5 of them have birthday parties, and all of the birthday parties started at 3:00. And so, I had to, between my husband and I, we were running all over getting kids to birthday parties. And so the longer I let fear paralyze me, the more excuses are going to produce themselves. And we can all come up with excuses. One of the things we say a lot is that our why often becomes our why not. Why do I want this business? I want this business to change my family's future. But why don't I work this business? Because of my family. That's like one of those things that we do. So anyways, I want you to really think about what is your fear. And then I want you to recognize the lie in that fear. Because most fears are not truth-based. Most fears are not real. And yet we let them determine the future of our life. We let them determine our success. And when I say success, I don't even mean finances. I don't mean anything like that. I just mean like living the life that God created us, living the life God intended for us, being the person that God intended for us to be. That's being successful. And we often don't even become that person because of fear. So take some time, think about what it is that is paralyzing you, pinpoint that fear, and get rid of that fear. Now that I'm sure some of you are like, oh, well, that's easier said than done. If I have fear, how do I get rid of it? Well, you do something. So like for me right now, my husband and I, Rejection is a fear. Oh, that is a huge fear, especially in this business. My husband and I made out a game plan, and we're going to sit down and talk to our kids on Sunday. And he's said, this is what I can do to help take over a little bit so that you can work a little bit more these next few months so we can take full advantage of this really busy, amazing boom time. And we're going to talk to the kids just so that they know what to expect of me over the next few months, because I can't just suddenly decide I'm going to work, half the day and ignore them. Like, they need to be on board and understand this is what's going to come from this, if I do this. I've involved my whole family from the beginning. Like, when I decided to go diamond, and I knew what kind of game plan that required. That's what I did. I came up with a plan on my own, shared it with my husband. He said yes. And so then we went and shared it with our kids. And you guys, that's the only way it happened, because I didn't feel guilty. Nobody made me feel bad. Nobody was mad at me because I was working a lot, because they knew. They're like, this is for a short period of time, and this is going to change our family's life. And it has changed our family's life. But there's more to be had, and there's more to come. And I know that. And as my husband said, he's like, you are in the place that God has been preparing you for our entire life. He's like, do not let fear hold you back from fulfilling what it is that he's been preparing you for. So when you pinpoint what that fear is, the way that you obviously praying against it, rebuking, all of that. But I know that, first of all, sometimes people don't even understand what that means, or don't pray. And so, but I also know that we can pray, but that we need to do something. And so you put an action to that fear. So what my action is to the fear that I realize that I'm having is made a game plan. I'm going to talk to my kids about it. And as soon as I get off this, I'm going to spend about an hour and a half working before I go on a date with my husband, because we have all of our children at birthday parties today. And so, and then Monday, same thing. I'm going to have actions. We talk about a 6 list. Every day you want to have at least 6 income producing activities for the next day, so that you know exactly what to do. So whatever it is that your fear is, figure that out, and then do something that will actively smash that fear by doing something against it. So I hope that makes sense, and I hope that helps. You do not want to look back on your life and be like, I didn't do all the things that I know I could have done because I was afraid. Like, that will be absolutely, that is a fear of mine. I don't want to do that. So thank you. Good. I'm glad you guys have a wonderful Saturday afternoon. Bye.